Yo, we live in a wild time. Remember when the biggest worry was your mom finding your diary? Now it's corporations and governments knowing what you eat for breakfast. I mean, they know what I eat and it's embarrassing. Let's just say I'm a fan of sugary cereals. Not the point. The point is, our data is everywhere. Every click, every purchase, every tweet, it's all tracked. Now, I'm not saying technology is bad. This isn't your grandpa yelling at the cloud. But this information, it's power. And like my Uncle Buntu used to say, power without responsibility is just asking for trouble. Companies can use your data to target you with ads, even manipulate you. Governments, don't get me started on what they can do with too much info. That's why data protection is key. It's about saying, hey, that's my information. I should have a say in how it's used. Think of it like your online house. You wouldn't let just anyone waltz in, right? You got locks on those digital doors, people. But here's the kicker. Not everyone's got those locks yet, and that's where Namibia comes in. Namibia's got a constitution, right? Solid document. Protects your right to privacy in your home, your letters, all that good stuff. Physical privacy, they call it. Problem is, the digital world, that's basically the Wild West out here. No sheriff, no rules, just tumbleweeds and data vultures circling. Look, I get it, these laws, they take time, but meanwhile our information is out there floating around like those plastic bags you see stuck in trees. Not a good look. Namibia, we got to catch up. We need informational privacy laws, the kind that protect our digital lives. What we're talking is a three-headed monster of legislation. Don't worry, these monsters are the good guys. First up, the Data Protection Act. Imagine a world where companies can't just snatch up your data like it's a free buffet. That's the Data Protection Act in a nutshell. It's all about consent, baby. They want your info, they gotta ask nicely, explain what they're gonna do with it, the whole 9 yards. And if they misuse it, oh boy, hold on to your hats. This act is gonna have some teeth. We're talking fines, penalties, the works. Makes you think twice about being careless with people's info, doesn't it? But it's not just about punishment, it's about empowering you. You get to see what they know, you can ask them to delete it, even take it with you to another company. It's your data, after all. Now, the Data Protection Act is just one piece of the puzzle. We got to talk about what happens when you're online surfing the web. Okay, so we got the Data Protection Act, that's the bodyguard for your info. But what about those pesky spam calls, the ones trying to sell you things you don't need? Enter the Privacy and Electronic Communications Regulations. This bad boy says, you want to contact me, you better have a good reason, and don't even think about hiding your number. And then there's the Freedom of Access to Information Act. This one's all about transparency. Want to know what the government's up to? This law says you have a right to find out. Think of it like a public report card. But instead of grades, it's how well they're respecting your privacy. These three laws, they work together. They build trust, not just in the digital world, but in the government too. Because when you know your rights are protected, you can relax, enjoy the internet, and maybe even order some sugary cereal online without worrying about who's watching. Don't judge me. I am Milton Lowe, and this is my vision for future Namibia.